Hey guys, how's it going? It's Boston from Freakin Rad. We get asked a lot online, how do you make the costumes and props you do in your video? Well, today we have a really special treat for you. We're going to teach you how you can make any prop you can possibly imagine out of EVA foam. Specifically, we are going to be building the Traveler's Chosen sidearm from Destiny 2. Ain't she pretty? And so you can follow along. We've included in the description and at the end of this video a link so that you can download the template we used in this video for free. It's 100% free because we love you. We've also been working really hard to create a detailed version of this video that you can access at cosplaysensei.com, which is our new companion site. So without any further ado, we're gonna hand it off to the prop master, Tim Wynn, to teach you how to make the Traveler's Chosen.
The first thing we did to get this project started is we had to make a pattern. So what we did is we took a few reference shots that we were able to find online and we turned that into a vector drawing in Adobe Illustrator. Once that was complete, we then printed out a few copies of the pattern. We cut them up and started tracing the main portion of the body onto foam and made a left side and a right side. Once we had those cut out, we dremeled off the rubber backing. And if you have a hard time getting into the center, just kind of bend your piece, dremel it. Then we applied barge glue and carefully glued them together. Be very careful, because once they stick together, that's pretty much it. Once those were glued together, we dremeled out the trigger area and beveled the edges. Once that was together, we then cut the second pattern into sections. We took the biggest section and used craft foam and cut out one for each side of the gun. We then applied more glue and attached them. Once those were attached, we again dremeled all around to make sure that we had a universal shape. All right, now that we've got those two sides on, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take long strips of the really thin foam, and we're going to line the top on all the way around the handle with that. So it starts looking more like a legit prop. We then use some of the patterns to create some of the lines on the gun, specifically on the top portion where the top of the gun tapers in, so that we knew where to dremel to give it that tapered look on the top of the gun. So most of it that I need to take care of is on the back of the handle and on the top of the receiver. Once we completed the dremeling and got the shape that we wanted, we then started cutting out detail pieces, shaping them with the Dremel, and then glued them on. We then had to make a small rail that went on the front of the gun. What we did for that is we took a small strip of the really thin craft foam and then we added 3 little squares on top of that, then dremeled the edges of those squares to make it look more like a rail. And then we glued that onto the front of the gun. All right, so now we got our rail system down here. Then we wanted to add some more detail to the gun. So we took the remaining pieces of the pattern and used that to trace on lines where they needed to go. Once those lines were all traced on there, all the detail, we then scored those lines with a knife. And once all the scoring was done, we took a heat gun and just gave it a little bit of heat. You don't want to give it a lot to make sure to really bring out those lines so that they're more defined. So as you can see, it makes the lines pop out a lot more after you've scored them. We then took pen tubes and we added the circles to wherever they needed to go by pressing and twisting the tube into the foam. Okay, kind of press down and then twist it until it goes into the foam. And when you pull it out, look at this tiny little dimple right there. Once all the details were done, we then dremeled a hole in the front of the gun and added a small piece of PVC pipe for the barrel. And now we have the base of the gun. All right, so there is our gun, all finished. Got our barrel, all the detail work. It is now ready for Plastidip and paint. What we did first is we put a layer of black Plastidip on both sides. We waited 30 minutes, then we added the gray. Once we did that, we let the gun sit for 24 hours to make sure that the Plastidip had fully dried. From there, we then sprayed the gun with a matte black with Rust-Oleum Universal Satin Black spray paint from Rust-Oleum. Once that was on there, we waited another 24 hours. The next day, we taped off the gun where we needed the black to stay. And once we had taped it off, we then sprayed the areas of the gun that had white on it. And then we did the same process and spray painted the small section of blue that was on there. And again, just let that finish drying and waited 24 hours. What we did for weathering is we took a little bit of silver paint and a brush, sprayed the paintbrush, and slightly went over the edges and just gave it that little bit of scratched metal look. Now, the very last thing that we did is we had to design the little logo that was on both sides of the gun. So what I did is I got back in Illustrator, took my reference picture, even though it was really small, and did my best to draw out this little emblem the best I could. From there, I printed it out on a label, cut up, and stuck onto the side of the gun. And now it's time to take back the light. Hey guys, thanks for watching our video of the Destiny 2 hand cannon. Make sure to get the pattern right here. Also subscribe, like, share this video, leave a comment on what you think we should build next, and then don't forget to go to our brand new site, cosplaysensei.com, where you'll get more patterns, more videos, more ebooks coming soon so that you can build your awesome props. I'm Tim Wynn, your cosplay sensei. Keep it rad.